What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Records and Ramblings. I don't have any rambling today because I have a lot of shit that I want to get through. So let's jump right into this shit, man. Actually, I'm not starting off with records. I'm going to show a few CDs. Last video, I talked about some gifts that Autumn from This Machine Kills Music gave me, and yeah, these are the CDs that she sent me. The first one I'm going to talk about, this is Darkrad with Little Black World. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, so this is a one-woman noise project, ambient noise, which is really, really cool because I had never heard of this person. She's originally from Russia, but apparently lives in the US now. But this is really cool stuff, very textured with a lot of atmosphere to it. I've talked about noise and how I'm not a big fan of like harsh noise. I'm more of a fan of the more ambient noise, and this is right up my alley. It's super dark, super creepy. Sounds like it could be a soundtrack to some really fucked up artsy horror movie. I put this on the first time while reading a book, and it actually was very, very, very unsettling and unnerving, but I dig it. Apparently she also does cat prints, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this is really nice. So yeah. And another CD I'm going to show you, this is Fire Toolz with Skinless. I don't know if this is X through 1 or if this is supposed to be 10 through 1 or 10-1, X1. I don't know. Either way, this shit is tight. This is another one-woman project. This is actually vaporwave, which I don't have a lot of vaporwave stuff, but it's a pretty interesting musical genre here. Lots of really weird elements here. It's very pretty presenting, but it has these crazy dark elements to it. There are even moments where there's like some black metal screeches in there. It's not going to focus, but yeah, this is actually really, really cool stuff. With this type of music, it could come off very corny, but I think this person does it extremely well. It really works, and I really enjoyed this. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking into more of her music because it's really fucking cool. The idea of mixing vaporwave with black metal is just something I would have never thought would come together in such a really interesting and pretty but super dark package. First record I'm going to show you in this edition of Records and Ramblings. This is NER Presents From Torture to Conscience. Ooh. Yeah, so this is actually another gift from Autumn. She actually gave this to me when I met her in Minneapolis when I did the Mood House Fest, which was a really nice thing for her to do. She didn't have to do that. I'd never met her and she showed up with a record. That's the best way to meet people from the internet. Show up with a fucking gift. Yeah, so I had seen this around for a really, really long time, but I just never got around to buying a copy. This was released in 1984. It's got Old Style, Death in June on there, In the Nursery, Clair Obscure, Current 93, and Iron and Flesh. The Death in June stuff is before they were a neo-folk band. So this is back when they were still like this weird kind of industrial band. The Current 93 songs are more of the ambient industrial stuff that they did. Really dark, really unsettling. In the Nursery songs, they're more of the post-punk stuff that they did. And I wasn't too familiar with Clair Obscure before this album, but her stuff is pretty interesting. Ambient, noisy stuff. They're labels that, of course, you can't really see because it's just showing up as white. Anyways, same with Iron and Flesh. I'd never heard of them either, but it's pretty cool stuff. Ambient noise. But yeah, this is actually a pretty cool thing to have, man. It's kind of like a testament to the old world of industrial music. And NER is a label that's not around anymore, I don't think. I think it stood for, is it New Europa Recordings? I think that's what it used to stand for. But yeah, they're dead and gone. But this is a really cool thing to have. So once again, thank you, Autumn. You're fucking awesome. If you guys are not subscribed to her channel, make sure you do that. This Machine Kills Music. It'll be down there in the description section. So click it, like it, love it, all that shit, boy. And I guess we're going to continue on with more gifts here. This is Esh with Darwin's Frankenstein. So I met Esh when he played in Atlanta with Chesky and Moody Black. I believe that was the show. Super nice guy. And he gave me this record when I met him. It's actually really good. Very smart, lyrical hip-hop. I feel like if you're into stuff like Sadistic, Sage Francis, Sims from Doomtree, I think you'll really dig this. Records on Black won't bother showing you that, but yeah, the first song, Release the Hounds, is really, really, really dope. Cavemen with Computers, another song I really like on here. Red Velvet, I think is gorgeous. It has like a $1.65 kind of vibe to it. It's great. But yeah, this is a fucking awesome record. Make sure you guys check that out if you're in the mood for some hip hops. This record I want to show you, this is Nipa Holland with a name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I'll just put it right there. Yeah, so this is another project from one of my favorite black metal musicians, someone whose name that I just cannot seem to pronounce correctly. It sounds right in my head, but when it comes out of my mouth, it sounds fucking ridiculous. The only person I've ever heard say it in a way that I'm sure is correct is Tom from White Filth Vinyl. So I decided that from here out, whenever I need to say this person's name, I'm just going to cut to Tom saying it like this. Yeah. So thank you, Tom. This is a demo that came out in 2016. It was before the debut full-length, fast, aggressive black metal that is known for. Great riffs, lots of keyboards. Records on Black won't bother showing you that. It's a double LP. I'm not sure if you can still get this, but yeah, I actually think this is better than the full-length. Was actually singing on this, and I like his vocals more than Iniquis. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. I'll put that right there. Yeah, there it is. He sang on the full length, the debut, and one of the Trolldom records, and his voice is really cool too. Don't get me wrong, I just like voice a little bit better. This is on Purity Through Fire, and yeah, fucking awesome stuff. Next record I'm going to show you, this is In Gowan Ring with Visions of Shadows That Shine. So In Gowan Ring, in my opinion, is one of the better of the old school World Serpent neo-folk bands. They've been creating gorgeous music since 1994. They were one of the first bands that I heard doing this style. This is a later album, but it's still great. It's a bit cleaner than the older stuff. Sorry about that fucking glare, guys. I'm gonna get that fixed one of these days. But yeah, it's a bit cleaner than the older stuff. The older stuff kind of had this weird kind of wash over the music that made it really magical sounding. This is more straightforward, really, really pretty stuff. I feel like if you dig Fire and Ice or older Backworld, then you'll really be into this. Even if you like the newer Blood and Sun stuff, I feel like you might be into this. This more steers towards the traditional end of folk music, kind of like that band Changes. But this is really, really, really good stuff. The next record I'm going to show you, this is Ink and Dagger with the Fine Art of Original Sin. Yeah. If you're not familiar with Ink and Dagger, man, they were one of the most important bands to come from the hardcore scene. This is a band that was doing something truly unique. The band revolved around Sean McCabe, who was in Mandela Strike Force, as well as Flagman, and Don DeVore, who was from the band Frail. And it was because of Don DeVore, that's why I heard this band, because Frail is one of my favorite bands from that era. But the music is nothing like either one of those bands. They weren't really heavy or technical or anything, but the music was still kind of mathy, I guess. Had kind of like a Discord vibe to it, but I don't know. I guess you can kind of call it having indie rock influences a little bit. I don't know. There was just so much going on with this band. Some parts were kind of like the Makeup. Some parts were like Nation of Ulysses, but they were just punk as fuck all the way around. They were known for dressing up as vampires, kind of like in corpse paint whenever they played, but this is nothing, has nothing to do with black metal. But yeah, I was lucky enough to see them a few times. I saw them once in Atlanta in a fairly small venue, which was pretty cool. And I saw them once in Louisville, which is also pretty cool. That was where I actually met Sean McCabe, who was a really nice guy, and rest in peace to him. He unfortunately passed away a long time ago. But yeah, I'm lucky that he left behind some really, really, really fantastic music. I need to get some of the other 7 inches that I lost over the years. But yeah, this is a fucking great record. And the last record I'm gonna show in this edition of Records and Ramblings, this is Sadisme with Festering in Telepathic Communion. This is a USBM band that I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about. It's a one-man black metal project from California. It's fast, pissed off, raw, but it's not raw to the point of being indecipherable, which is really important because the riffs here are seriously fucking great. Yeah, it amazes me that this is a one-man project. You know, a lot of times with the one-man black metal projects, at least one of the instruments kind of falls to the background because they're not as great at bass as they may be with guitar, or they're not as good with drums as they may be with something else. But yeah, this is a band kind of like Panopticon where the guy is great all the way around. Everything is played well. Guitars, drums, even the vocals are just fucking gross. A lot of interesting and weird time changes go on with this band that I think is just fucking great, man. Limited to 100 copies. It's on Death Cult Productions, which I fucking love that label. I believe I got this from Grey Matter though, which is a great distro. Seems like a really nice guy. But yeah, this is a great band. I don't know if you can still get this record around. It's probably long gone at this point since there was only 100 of them. But yeah, this is one of the better US black metal bands that are out right now. Fantastic stuff. And that's going to do it for this edition of Records and Ramblings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out, boy!